Welcome back, everybody. Got another race shop vid here, and this time it's going to be for the International Diecast Racing League 2023. All right, now here's the car we're going to send in right here. But so far, it's got the crummy wheels. So I'm going to swap those things out. Got to weigh it down. Going to put some suspension in it. But I love the fact that it's an IROC. We're going to take those because they rock, and I'm going to put these wheels on it because they're FTEs and they're out of a Mustang. Now, this one was used, got it off of eBay. It's got some crunchy problems going on inside of it, and plus it's kind of a cheap casting for the FTEs, so we're getting rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the Mustang, keep the wheels, put the wheels in there.
Yeah, so the database is really good. It's much harder to describe.
Touching each other's hands, hugging. Yeah, I tried.
We found out about that because we got just
A lot of it is UAE.
a lot of it is UAE.
Private zoos. Did you visit any of these private zoos?
We wanted to
So in Dubai, yeah.
sometimes you don't believe that this is the thing that happens today. Okay.
They call the smaller chips tree leaders because they're under the trees. The bottom wasn't called and he was one of the first people to definitely.
All right, so here's the inside of our tray. I've taken the little nubs out already. FTEs fit perfect on this one. Out of the Mustang. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Now what the game plan is, I'm taking 056.056 12 gauge acoustic guitar string. I'm going to cut a couple of chunks out. Drop it in there, two pieces.
Traumatic brain injuries, and he's chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And it's subconcussive blows that do a lot of the damage. People that play soccer get CTE from nature of what you're doing. You understand it going into it. It's not like you're being lied to. You're going into it knowing it's not safe.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that when we're introducing a person who's just had a concussion, there should be a time between when they're allowed to go back in the ring
Yes.
or go back on here sometimes. That lacks.
Training, those aren't like, it's not like you want to get.
All right, got a couple of pieces of guitar string, cut up just the right size there. Just to go a little bit past the axles on either side. Now, I already took the liberty of going ahead and getting me a nice chunk of lead. Plunk. It's going to fit right in the tray right there. Look at that. And a trick that I've been doing, and I marked in the path of the strings under the lead. Anyways, you get the point here. Those two little black marks. And then you follow them along. And I've got little lines. Whoop, whoop. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut some channel in the lead, nice and soft stuff, to match where the strings are. So that way, when we glue this guy back in, he's going to hold them in place and give us a good piece of weight. All right, clear as mud, eh? All right, check it out. All right, there it is. Took it out, carved some grooves in it. Gotta be careful with it, so it's lead, so you want to make sure you're nice and clean when you do that. All right, now those are going to hold the string in place. You get it all set up right there. And that's all there is to it. That is sitting up high enough so that she's all sealed down. Got enough springy in there to still call it suspension. And you can gauge how much tension you got on it by where you move the weight.
So I'm saying we still don't understand. We're like intuiting what was fine-tuned in a supervised way. Dialogue that makes sense. Here's the kind of answers to questions that make sense. Smart. So that's the alignment. And then they did a label. As I mentioned, Dick and Pussy.
NFL players trying to get back into the big league, players in their off season or rehab. And I got it was me, him, and Max Holloway and Kelvin Gas Motion.
It's not like a rocket. Assuming that all the calibration was on, all the equipment worked together. It feels it because you have to get the latest, greatest stuff. Like you could have a laptop from 4 or 5 years ago.
I think. So I'm a big proponent of capital utilization years to do incredible work. So yes, the fund and the background mechanism.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating when there's something like that. So it doesn't fit into like what you do. You think
It's not cheating, but it's not all drama, but
I agree.
yeah, but there's a lot of shady characters. What's a fad? What's straight up fraud? Except like the human emotions that were back in the day.
Yeah, it's like 45.
Now, he probably heard it in training legit.
Don't fucking get off your body. How about that?
He's a much calmer man.
Oh my God. He's
So
so
chill.
chill.
It's like
All right, kids, get you all caught up on what's going on here. FDEs are in. That's a big chunk of lead. And I showed you scoring up the bottom of the lead, scoring up the plastic. You always want to do that, even with you're doing with JB Weld or the epoxies. And I am a fan of the epoxy. There it is, all glued up inside there. And the string is actually cut pretty short. So it is super stiff in the suspension, which is good for speed. So it might not even work very much, but it will work when you need it to. And it is tight. There is right up against that string. Nice and even. Good stuff. So there's an idea of how that's been put together. And those FTEs look sharp. All right. The body and the interior there. So I got some more paint, so I'm going to paint these black. So when it sticks through the hood, they'll look black. But I had to cut that whole section out there just to get it so it'll sit just perfect. Boop. On that hunk of lead I got in there. Now, I'm going to paint that piece of lead inside there black, and I'm going to cut these guys down a little bit more to get them the space right. And I've still got the tops of the seats that can go on top of there. But they still need to get some stuff shaved off them to make them fit proper. There's the windshield. And there's the body. This is what we're dealing with so far. Now you noticed I opened up these wells just a bit to accommodate for the bouncing on the suspension, and then I went back and polished off all the insides of it there. Tell me, I just went through with this barrel sander and opened those up just a little bit. Give room for some travel. There's not going to be much suspension travel, so you don't need much. Not on this guy. And just starting off with the paint. Now, usually I'm going to go with the red, white, and black Beaverworx scheme that I've been using on a few other cars. Body, interior, and chassis. All right, we'll get on with the paint. Oh, yeah, one other thing here I forgot to add is that a lot of people are talking about like they're going to use crazy glue or they're going to use this other kind of stuff. Crazy glue is super, super fragile and doesn't seem to hold. No matter how much you think crazy glue will work on the wheels or anything, it doesn't. And even when you get into a lot of the CAs, you can use them for some stuff. But when it comes to chassis and when it comes to suspension and wheels, I like going hardcore. And this is the stuff that I use. It's a 2-part 15-minute epoxy and mid-cure, which means it's still got a little bit of flexibility to it. And it works really good if you score up all your surfaces and make sure it's all nice and clean. You can get really good adhesion with this stuff, and it's good enough for the cars. So just another note there. All right, let's get on with some more painting.
Where do we need to be looking? Jim and I actually have quite an extensive.
All right, so far you can see I got a lot of my markings on there, and I know you want to do this with water slide decals. And I've got the paper and I've tried the method a couple of times and I just have not been able to get it down yet. So I've been doing this exceptionally hard version of cutting out pieces of paper, printing it, and then just kind of taping it to the side. And you get these seams and it looks ugly, but you've got to get your markings on there somehow. And you can't get that water slide decal thing to happen. You've got to kind of work with what you got.
Just a step. Just the same.